Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Sat Sangat Ji, welcome to another episode of Alcohol and Beyond. And as some of you will have noticed, we're here in Nottingham at Palmer House, Bac-IN. Where Bac-IN, as you know from previous episodes, Bac-IN have supported a lot of alcoholics and drug addicts. And we're here today, here in Nottingham on Mansfield Road, to see what Bac-IN actually do to support alcoholics and drug users. And we're going to speak to some of the staff here, volunteers and the service users to see how Bac-IN have supported them. Also, Sat Sangat Ji, I want to thank you for your very heartwarming messages that you sent to the Sikh channel supporting the programme, but also some of the heartbreaking stories that we are getting are really moving. But please keep them coming to us, as we are being able to help a number of families, and especially those addicts who need that help. So please keep ringing in and emailing. The numbers on the screen as we speak. So please do keep in touch and give us your stories so we can help you. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Sat Sangat Ji, welcome to Bac-IN. We're in the reception area inside Bac-IN now, and we have here with me Kenny, who's the development manager. Welcome to the Sikh channel.
Hi.
And thank you for having us here today at Bac-IN. It's very kind of you to let us in and show us what you do here at Bac-IN for people like myself, recovering addicts, and those who are still in inactive addiction. So Kenny, you're going to help us give us a bit more of an insight today.
We will do, yeah. Give you an overview of the organisation. Bac-IN, what we do here, we're a peer-led drug and alcohol service, and it will give you a good flavour of the types of services that we provide for individuals from the African, Caribbean, South Asian and dual heritage communities here in Nottingham.
Excellent. Well, thank you for that, Kenny. And I'm going to hand you over to Sonny Gill, who's going to support the Sikh channel today and show us around Bac-IN. And we're going to take a tour, and Sonny and myself will be doing that with you today. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to another very special episode of Alcohol and Beyond. My name is Sonny Gill, and I'm very grateful to be given the opportunity to give you a tour around the Bac-IN building, which is based in Nottingham. During the tour, we'll hopefully get a chance to meet some of the service users and the staff involved. Bac-IN was originally founded in 2003 and is a multicultural, diverse self-help group which focuses on a community-based program for those seeking help with alcohol and drug and substance misuse. Today's intention for you, the viewer, is an insight into what goes on here and showing you and hopefully portraying the warmth, the love and the healing which has taken place in this building with the staff members and service users, which has helped a lot of people find their feet and recreate their lives. Please follow me and we'll take a look around.
Sat Sangat Ji, I'm pleased to say we're here in one of the rooms here at Bac-IN with Nathaniel,
Yes.
who's a young person's alcohol worker.
That's right.
Thank you for joining us today, Nathaniel. How long have you been with Bac-IN?
I came to Bac-IN in 2006. I actually came here to receive help. I had addiction issues, and I had some fantastic help from Sohan, Gladstone, David. Had a period of time in rehabilitation, and I was invited to come back and work as a volunteer. I did some volunteer experience here at Bac-IN for about a year, and that led me on to a full-time position of actually working for Bac-IN. So, yeah, that started in 2008.
Wow, I was going to ask you what attracted you to Bac-IN, but you've actually told us already.
Yeah.
But it must be an amazing feeling to actually have sought help from here and Bac-IN giving you that help, but now to be able to help other people as well. I know in my early days, you was always here to help me, and it brings back memories every time I see you. So obviously the attraction was you've been through the addiction yourself.
That's right.
And Nathaniel, could you just explain what do you do on a day-to-day basis helping these people who need your help?
Okay, so my role at the moment, I am the young person's drug and alcohol support worker. So I work with young people aged from 11 through to 25 that may have any issues around problematic drinking or substance misuse, and even addiction to alcohol as well. My role is broad, so I work within community centres, places of worship, and I also go around schools within Nottingham and Nottinghamshire delivering alcohol awareness workshops.
And I know recently, back in March, you did an alcohol workshop at the Sikh temple in Derby, and that was received very well. I mean, what kind of responses do you get when you go to places like that?
I generally get good responses. We've had to design the workshop in a way that it will keep young people's attention, and we have a lot of activities that engages them whilst it's a very serious and relevant topic. So generally we've had a really good response. We've actually seen over 3,000 young people and delivered workshops to them, so that's a massive achievement for Bac-IN to be able to go out and reach so many young people and improve their awareness around binge drinking.
That's really wonderful what you're doing, and once again, Nathaniel, thank you for your time here at Bac-IN. I look forward to speaking to you again soon.
Thank you very much.
Welcome, Sasangaji, again. I'm with David Jammy, who also works here at Bac-IN. And just for the viewers at home, Sasangaji, I'd never thought imagine myself interviewing David here on the Sikh channel, primarily because when we first met David, I was quite in a dark place, and I was broken as a human being. I was really... So I want to first of all thank you for all your help and support you've given me, and it's a great privilege and an honour for me to be on the Sikh channel today, and to be here at Bac-IN interviewing you. Could you just tell the viewers at home what your role at Bac-IN is?
Okay, firstly, thank you very much, Jazz, and the privilege is mine. My role at Bac-IN is outreach worker. I work with individuals within the prison, but I also support individuals on release in the community as well.
Right, that must be quite a challenging job for people who've come out of prison and who are rehabilitating themselves back into society. And you, as a key worker, have quite a big role in that.
I guess one of the main challenges is getting individuals to believe that they can rehabilitate, that it's a possibility for them, that they're not totally written off. Because largely individuals will write themselves off. I've been to prison, my value is I'm worthless, you know, I'm worthless within my community, I'm worthless within the family. It's getting individuals to realise that they do have a value, they do have a worth, and if they put certain things in place, then they can achieve that.
Yeah. Like we just mentioned, it's challenging, but it must be also very rewarding when you see people that come through the doors, they're making a success of their lives, they've started working again, and, you know, being fathers, husbands, and, you know, just respectful members of society again. So it must be very rewarding for you, David.
I guess it's rewarding to see individuals fulfill their potential. I don't place too much store on whether an individual is successful or unsuccessful, in so much as because if I place a lot of store on that, then I can be disappointed if they're not successful, if you follow me. But there's nothing gives me more pleasure than to see someone attain and to achieve, you know, the limits that they can achieve within society.
Well, thank you very much, David, for your time here today, and it's been a pleasure to speak to you. And once again, on behalf of the Sikh channel, thank you.
Thank you very much, Jazz.
Sal Singaji, welcome to the Sikh channel once again. I'm delighted to say we're joined here at Bac-IN by the founder of the service and also director here at Bac-IN, Sohan Singh Sahota. Welcome to the Sikh channel, Sohan. Really good to have you here. Sohan, I know Bac-IN was set up in 2003, but for the viewers at home, could you just tell us why Bac-IN was set up and why there was the need for Bac-IN at that particular moment in time?
Okay, Bac-IN was born out of my own journey in treatment. You know, I came into treatment in the mid-90s, 1995, and it was a struggle. It was a rehab I was in. It was just a struggle, you know. There was issues that I needed to deal with, have addressed, like, you know, cultural issues, you know, shame, faith issues. All of this wasn't really acknowledged in this facility, and I was discharged early because I had you know, internal crises that was born out of addiction, you know, like psychosis, paranoia, spiritual crisis, and the treatment centre wasn't able to address that. Right. So I left and came into the community, and what I realised, there were similar stories like mine, you know, with individuals. So that's when the idea came up, you know, I need support, you know, I need to have my recovery, but there's other people who are in a similar dilemma, they need support as well. So we created a self-help support group, and, you know, that would identify, I mean, that would offer cultural identification, cultural empathy and a spiritual connection. All of this was missing for me in that treatment facility and also in other self-help groups.
You was also supported with this by other members from other communities. You wasn't just on your own when you set up Bac-IN. Were they from a Sikh background, or were there other communities involved as well?
No, it was just our communities basically. Mm-hmm. You know, it was you know, brother Glaston was there from the dual heritage community. You know, Manny was there, yeah. And you know, they helped co-facilitate the early groups. You know, before Bac-IN became a proper organisation. Yeah. You know, that had proper structure. You know, proper staffing. Mm-hmm. You know, was starting to get funding, and everything was kind of above board. Professional organisation. You know, competent. Yeah. Sort of policies and procedures, and you know, working professionally, you know, is a lot more than just one community self-help group.
Oh, excellent. I mean, it might be a difficult question, so I do apologise, but how many people would you say you support in a, you know, in a normal year? I know
in a normal year, the average, you could say, is around about 100, 130, and if you include the family members in that, you know, siblings, you can triple that a year.
That is quite a lot, isn't it? And this is all free of charge as well, isn't it?
The service here is free of charge. We get funding. We get funding from the crime and drug partnerships. We used to get that, but it stopped now. Drug and alcohol action teams, that stopped as well now. Another funder is the big lottery, comic relief. And so that funding is used to support members of the community.
So, and I know the spirit-centred values are fundamental to Bac-IN and how you operate on a day-to-day basis. Can you just tell the Sikh channel viewers at home why they are so important, the spirit-centred values, which are very important in Sikhi as well, why they are so fundamental to you and the staff here?
I think it was very important for us to establish a foundation for Bac-IN, you know, that would be rooted in principles, heart-centred principles, that would be reflective of a journey that would allow individuals to self-realize, self-transform, and develop their spiritual consciousness. You know, one of the spiritual principles of Bac-In is compassion. It is working with love, is working from the heart. It kind of focuses more on working on the body, the mind, but also the spirit, soul essence of the person as well. And especially if someone's been in addiction for many, many years, that's the part of themselves they want to revive. Yeah. And if we haven't got the spiritual principles, you know, like empathy, understanding, spiritual connection, and you know, personal responsibility, it would limit their sort of recovery. Yeah. I mean, part of the spiritual principles is it encourages spiritual awakening. You know, so it's developing these qualities, these virtues within, you know, within ourselves. You know, like love, compassion, humility, self-discipline. You know, seva, generosity, kindness. Because when you're using drugs, you're addicted, and that you're the opposite of this.
Yeah. So all these qualities are there in Sikhi as well. So, you know, you can say the two run parallel with each other.
These are, and when a person loses their way in life, you know, these are in recovery. This is a retrieval. This is what they are trying to reclaim. You know, through counselling, through mentoring, through the 12-step work, through the group work, through the meetings. You know, that critical self-examination. It is about this. It's about recovering this soul essence, and this is, you know, spiritual consciousness at the end of the day. And I think everybody at some level is looking for that, you know, that sense of happiness, that sense of fulfillment, that sense of sort of unity and connectedness and connection with life around us.
Thank you, Sawan. What is your message to the Sikh Channel viewers at home who are possibly struggling today with family members or even themselves, anyone listening to you?
I mean, the message is always going to be the same. You know, if you have a problem, if you have an issue at home, is to, and I know it's very difficult to pick up the phone and to reach out for help, but that's the first thing. You know, you've got to find the courage, you've got to find the strength, and know that you're not alone. And people out there in services, they do understand. You know, they can help and support and provide an insight into the addiction and some of the behaviours that your loved one may be going through. And, you know, we will empower you, so, you know, so you feel empowered to support your loved one, and we will support you as well. You know, there's loads of services out there, but if you want to talk to us directly, you know, because of language, because of culture, because of faith and religion, any elements like that, you know, that are dear to you, we will support you from that level.
You touched upon the language there, and I'm just quickly, I know this week you've started a Punjabi speaking group, a meeting where it's just all Punjabi speaking. I know you had a really good turnout, and that's going to grow. I'm sure it's going to grow. And how's that helped the service users?
I think that's been very kind of instrumental. It's been a long time in waiting, and it's been encouraged as we're getting more and more people coming from, you know, from India and other places. You know, English language is not their first sort of spoken capacity, and especially with them being addicted over there, so they bring that here. It's very important for them to speak in their language, because it's through that connection, through that empathy, that recovery will kind of awaken and flourish within an individual, and they feel supported, they feel a part of something, and it's good to share from that. I think sharing in Punjabi, talking about where you're at in Punjabi, it has a different frequency, different wavelength, different feeling inside. And the meeting was charged. It was very, very powerful. It was heartwarming, and it's very touching, because there was that much honesty and सच्चाई ना, है ना, सारे गाल करते से कि अपने दुख दी सुख दी कोई गाल नहीं लुकवाई. You know, डर है नहीं गाल करने लिए, है ना, बेका के सारे, है ना, इकट्ठे हैं, a solution लभदे हैं. You know, we're all looking for the same solution, and it was just a really, really powerful meeting.
So on behalf of the Sikh Channel, I want to thank you for your time with us today, and wish you all the success in the future in your own self-progression, but also for all those brothers and sisters who are suffering in their addiction. Thank you.
Hi, thank you for joining us again. This is the main staff office, and we'll just take this opportunity to have a quick chat with some of the staff members and hear what they've got to say. So our first staff member is Bal. Bal, welcome. Could I start by asking how long have you been working at Bac-IN for?
I've actually physically been at the office for nearly a year, but I've done link work with them for the past 3 years within my previous role.
That's brilliant. And could I just ask, what kind of role do you play?
I work within the prisons, directly with the clients within the prison environment, and then myself and another colleague, do follow-up plans for them in the community.
Right, okay, and do you find that that's sometimes quite a challenging role to play, and you must meet a fair few hurdles on your way?
I've just recently undertaken a consultation with the clients that I've been working with, and 100% of the clients, they said the main 2 reasons they accessed the service was, one, it's BME specific, so it was a BME worker, and the second most important one was that it was peer-led. They felt that the workers had a true understanding of where they were coming from. Our service is due to finish within one particular prison very soon, and I asked them what would they do when it ceased, the service, and they've all basically said that they wouldn't access another service because people just do not have that type of understanding.
That's amazing. That's brilliant. Thank you so much for your time today, and thank you for your courage, because I know it's not easy, but lovely. Thank you. Hi there, thank you. We're back again. We're still in the staff room, and we're now going to take the opportunity to speak to Manjit, who is another valued member of staff here, and to hear what she has to say. Hi Manjit.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Brilliant. It's good to be here, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Of course it is, yeah.
Excellent. Can I just start by asking, how long have you provided your valued time and effort for Bac-IN?
I've been here for 5 years now. I came here as a training officer, but as the sort of years have progressed, I've done many roles. So with the family support worker, I also do the complementary therapies, admin. We sort of mix in and do a lot of roles, so it's not designated just to do the training. So and also female support as well with clients, because it's sort of my background sort of comes from that as well. So and mental health. So yeah.
Brilliant. So a fair bit there.
Yeah.
And what do you feel is the area that you get through to the most in those aspects? I know you touched about the complementary therapy side, and in particular working with certain from females from ethnic minorities.
Yeah.
So what do you feel that really hits home and gets the message?
Yeah, it's the yearning really. It's like if you've been through it yourself, you can connect with those individuals. It's a place for them to sort of where they can go and talk and not be judged, not be stereotyped. There's not that shame, and feel open and relaxed, and you can connect with them. And I think that's really important to have, because once you've got that and you've got the trust and build the confidence with that individual, then there's a lot of things you can do and support them and let them progress. And I've seen that over the years, and it's very rewarding. So yeah, it really helps.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And so you just touched upon there. It's rewarding in you know, the level of satisfaction we get when we feel we've done service or got through to someone. Could you just elaborate on what that does for you?
For me, no. Again, personally, family is very difficult, you know, because it's sort of ostracised with the community. You can't speak about it. So here it feels there is a way, you know, there's a way forward, and it is just rewarding. It makes me happy. It makes me like that I'm saving people and I'm helping people, you know, just to better their lives. And I'd like to do that in the future with my children and my family, and I want them to talk to me comfortably. So yeah.
That's brilliant. So just like a revolution.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Right, brilliant. Thank you very much. Hi, thank you for joining us again. We are now joined with Ola and Nada. They are originally from Sudan, and they are on here on work placements and are currently volunteering. And we're going to take this opportunity to first start off with Ola. Hi, Ola.
Hi.
So, Ola, I'd just like to ask, firstly, how are you finding today?
Today was awesome. It was nice seeing everybody coming in together and just having food and just like connecting, you know.
It's a nice environment to be in, isn't it? That's brilliant. And could you just touch upon what your experience is with Bac-IN?
So I've heard about Bac-IN through Futures, and that's how I got my work placement here. And it lasted for about 4 weeks. And through those 4 weeks, I learned a lot about the issues that come with like hiding, shame, like the stigma problems, all of that within the BME communities. Like, there are a lot of them out there, but they don't feel like they're heard or like helped in any sort of way, and I feel like Bac-IN provides that really well. In addition to that, I gained a lot of experience for myself, like communication skills. I did a presentation, so that was presentation skills, and I did some research as well, so I got a lot from it myself, and I felt like this was home. Like, I didn't, you know, because people here are so like connected, and it's like a family here.
Brilliant. You really do connect it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome. And over to you, Nada. Hey, welcome.
Hey, hello.
So again, with you, Nada, thank you for joining us. And would you just like to share briefly about your experience with Bac-IN and the services you provide and the experience you've gained?
Well, I just joined Bac-IN recently, and through this period I've learned a lot, and the people here are so amazing. They're just like Ola said, they're family to us, and they're so friendly, and the environment is just awesome.
We're here with Inspector Duncan. Hello.
Hi, how do you do?
Good, thank you. And we're just going to take this opportunity, firstly, to say thank you for taking the time out to join us and give us your view on a couple of things that we want to touch upon. So, firstly, I'd like to ask what your role is in policing, if I may.
Okay, well, I'm an inspector with Nottinghamshire Police. I work in the Bridewell Custody Suite, where I manage a team of custody sergeants and detention officers, and our role is to look after people who've been arrested and who are brought into custody.
Okay, and could I please ask, how does drug and alcohol misuse affect policing in your environment?
In my environment, it has a huge impact, particularly on, say, a Friday and Saturday night. The majority of people who are arrested will be under the influence of some substance, whether it's alcohol or drugs. People arrested for low-level alcohol-related crimes, such as drunken disorderly, and some of the lower public order offences, they're given the opportunity, rather than go to court or pay a fine, of going into an alcohol awareness course, which hopefully, again, builds on their ability to deal with their drinking and their behaviour in a way that doesn't bring them into contact with the police and doesn't break the law.
Lovely. Thank you very much for your time. Hi there, we're here with Janet Johal, and Janet, thank you. Thank you for taking the opportunity for sharing today. I know it's not easy sometimes, and I'm still struggling, but... so, firstly, I'd just like to ask what kind of brought you around? What brought you into Bac-IN?
Through Sister Bow, I used to do a placement at NGY, Base 51. I met her there, and obviously she got a job here, so I just came here and I thought, just see what the premise is like. I know it's really hard with drug and alcohol addiction, seeing first-hand experience through family, going through it, which wasn't really nice, and it's really hard for the families to deal with it, picking up the pieces.
And you find that being a family member, that Bac-IN offers a comfortable environment for people such as yourself?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, definitely. The support they offer is absolutely amazing. In fact, you know, it's hard to explain, you know, the groups they run, the support my daughter's had as well, and they're there 24 hours a day. If you know, if if my daughter needed her, she could call and someone would be there straight away to support her.
And that's really comforting. And you know, in early recovery, it's, you know, it's really important to have that kind of unity. Hi there, thank you. We're now joined by Sebastian Scott. Hi, Sebastian.
You're right. Blessed.
Yeah, good. How you doing today?
Blessed, mate. Blessed.
Yeah. Enjoying the day?
Yeah, man. Definitely. Yeah. Blessed.
Good vibe today, isn't
it?
Blessed.
My beautiful day, beautiful cuisine.
Yeah. It's all about good food as well.
Positive people around me. That's what we need.
That's it. That's what it's about. So we're just going to take a quick moment to just touch base with Sebastian and find out how he found his way to Bac-IN.
Found out through Nathaniel.
And do you have a kind of personal story, you know, you'd like to just briefly touch on what led you here?
Well, basically, I've been smoking cannabis since the age of 11. I'm 25 now, and basically, I've just had enough, and I just need to get rid of the cannabis use, and that's the main reason, really. I just want to be clean.
Brilliant, and it's amazing, isn't it? Once you get clean, you get that kind of sense of freedom, and you know, to put that pen to paper, just a different kind of doorway opens up, doesn't it?
Yeah. Because usually I'm rapping about things that don't really mean nothing, so this is like proper positive, and it makes sense. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
that's brilliant. So I'm now going to hand it over. He's going to provide. Sebastian's going to provide a rap for us, and it's all yours, brother.
All right. God bless Bac-IN. Look, Bac-IN have helped me on the way to recovery. Put down the substance. Lord, can you cover me? A 12-step program. Stay clean thoroughly. Positive people. Yeah, Bac-IN's where my brothers be. I need to get a grip now and handle the problem. For 8 years, I've suffered from a gambling problem. I need self-transformation. Don't land at the bottom. Your belief system should make you handle your problems. It's all about empowerment. We carry one another. You're 6 months clean. You should carry on, my brother. See the change within. Nathaniel's like my older brother. In a zone of addiction. But when will I recover?
Satsangji, I want to welcome Louise Barber to the Sikh channel and here at Bac-IN. And Louise works with young offenders at Nottingham Prison. Welcome, Louise.
Hi, it's not just young offenders, it's all ages. But yes, I work with offenders in the prison.
Do you feel there's a cultural need in the prisons for people to identify with their ethnic groups?
I think there is everywhere, but yes, I mean, you know, the prison, like all establishments, is really predominantly a white-dominated establishment, and I think it's really necessary for anyone to feel they can identify with people from their own culture, from their own gender, whatever it is. So that you know, the minute I knew that I could refer into Bac-IN, to me it was a no-brainer. You know, I recognised that within my client group there was that specific cultural identification and the ability to feel free to discuss who people were according to their race and according to their own issues that came with that within their addiction.
And obviously to help them to integrate back into society after the prison terms and to rehabilitate them, it's always a lot easier if their cultural needs are met.
Mm-hmm. I quite agree, and I think, I mean, I'm sure you know yourself, Jazz, that, you know, I think if someone's been involved in active addiction for a long time, very often what happens is you fall away from those cultural places that you would have been involved with, maybe the temples or for Muslims, the mosques. And I think to get back in being involved in the culture is such a healing part of the process. It has to be about feeling that you can go back into society and be accepted for who you are, what you are, and that your whole community, if you like, you can walk back within that community and feel part of it again.
I know the impact it has on society, the crime is quite devastating sometimes, and we at the Sikh channel, we want to encourage people to come forward who want and need help with any substance misuse. What can you do to any viewers, families, listeners who are listening to the programme today? What advice can you give them if they are struggling with an addiction problem?
I think the most important thing is not to ignore it, is to actually go forward to whoever you feel safe to speak about it with and get some support and get some advice. The first part is surrendering to it, you know, to admit that it's going off. And that may be such a huge battle, in an internal battle that hasn't been acknowledged verbally. So once you've got past that stage of thinking, I need that help, then go and get that help, because it is out there. Even if it's not culturally specific, it might be out there, and hopefully get a referral to the right people, to the right places, and go and speak about it.
Excellent. Well, Satsangji, I want to thank Louise for her time and for joining us here at the Sikh channel. Satsangji, ਹਰੇਕ ਮੀਟਿੰਗ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਆਪਾਂ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਆ ਹੱਥ ਜੋੜ ਕੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਆਤਮਾ ਦੀ ਸ਼ਾਂਤੀ ਲਈ ਇੱਕ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਅੱਗੇ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਤੇ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਆਤਮਿਕ ਸ਼ਾਂਤੀ ਲਈ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਜੋ ਇਹ ਮੁਸ਼ਕਲਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਫਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਉਹਦੇ ਲਈ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਹਾਇਕ ਹੋਣ ਤੇ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਰੈਨਿਟੀ ਪ੍ਰੇਅਰ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਆਤਮਾ ਦੀ ਸ਼ਾਂਤੀ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਇਹ ਸਰੈਨਿਟੀ ਪ੍ਰੇਅਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ I'm going to ask Sohan now if you'll lead us out with the serenity prayer in your own words, Sohan.
To remember why we are here, using the word God. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Vaheguru, 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 Vaheguru.
Welcome to the garden area. This is called the Alexandra Sanctuary. It's named after a fellow service user whose son tragically is no longer with us, and to honour that, a plaque was made, and this area was created for not only the essence of his spirit, but also as a place of rest, a place of tranquility, a place for meditation and calm, and to be out in the open with nature. I'm joined with Kenny. Hi, Kenny.
Hi, how you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Good.
And I just wanted to quickly use this opportunity to ask you, Kenny, if that's okay, what kind of brought you into Bac-IN?
Some 15 years ago, I met Sohan Sahota, the founder of the organisation, and when I met him, I knew that this man had a vision. He had a vision to transform his experience of drugs and alcohol, and he had a unique insight into some of the difficulties faced by individuals from the South Asian, African, Caribbean and dual heritage communities here in Nottingham. And I really warmed to his essence, and as a consequence of that, he told me that there might be an opportunity for me to make a difference here in Nottingham. So as a consequence of that, you know, I came into the post of development manager, and my role primarily is to focus on raising funds for the organisation to help ensure that we continue to deliver culturally specific and culturally appropriate services for individuals and community members from the South Asian, African, Caribbean and dual heritage communities here in Nottingham.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much for touching on that. Hi, welcome to a very special room. This is the Tony Herbert room, and I'll just hand it over to Kenny to share what the purpose of the room is.
Yeah, the Tony Herbert Room was named after Tony Herbert, who was the founder of a local service here in Nottingham called Double Impact. He was a close friend of Sohan, and as a consequence of that, he passed away from drugs and alcohol, and we decided to name the room paying homage, paying respect to Tony Herbert. And also Palmer, we've got an image of Palmer as well, because he was related to Sohan's sister. He passed away from alcohol abuse, and as a consequence we decided to name the whole building Palmer House. And the room that we're in now is often used for meetings. These are specific meetings where individuals from different diverse BME communities can come and share their experiences and talk about recovery and addiction in a safe, loving environment. And we have different imagery to reflect different cultures, different belief systems, because often individuals who walk in our door are living chaotic lives and cannot connect with the essence of who they are. And that's why we have images to reflect that.
And that's really important because initially when you first come into recovery, and if you're from an ethnic minority, to feel welcomed and be part of something sometimes can feel a bit, not quite there, but you can see there's no bias in the room from the imagery, like you stated, and there is that sense of that welcoming, that calm, and a lot of honesty has been shared in this room, hasn't it?
Yes, it is indeed. It's about unity. It's about empowering individuals who are going through quite chaotic lifestyles an opportunity to really share where they are in terms of their life journey, and that's why we've named it the way we have, the Tony Herbert Room.
That's awesome. Thank you, Kenny.
Thank you.
We are now in one of the largest training rooms, one of many training rooms which are in the building. One-to-one therapies carried out here, group therapies are carried out, and occasionally staff training. Kenny, would you just like to touch on some of the therapies that take place here?
Yes, we have a process called a check-in process that takes place here where staff have an opportunity to sit in a circle and share how they feel in that moment. And it's an opportunity where we share truly some of the defects of character that we're going through in that moment, because when we're engaging with clients, we ourselves need to ensure that we have honestly shared some deep-seated feelings. We also use it for business meetings. Those business meetings are staff meetings where we have an opportunity to update one another on key developments within the organisation. We also use it for meetings as well, external meetings with professionals, service providers, and with volunteers as well. So yeah, and as you can see, imagery to reflect the tranquility, peace and calmness.
This is the Sakyamuni room. It's named after a historical Buddha, which shows the diversity in cultures and the willingness to embrace the good from all. It's used primarily for complementary therapies for Reiki, acupuncture, Indian head massage, and Hopi air candles. And personally speaking, Kenny, I don't know about you, but I really like this room.
Yeah, I really like this room because what it does, it enables individuals as part of their transformation journey to really embrace holistic therapies that we offer here at Bac-IN. As you said, Indian head massage, Reiki, are core kind of spiritual principles that we embody within the individuals here. And it's something that they feel the benefits of, particularly going through quite complex processes, the deep-seated shame, the stigma, the denial, the fear. They find that the therapies that we offer enable them to be able to connect with their spiritual self, and that is something that's unique here at Bac-IN, the ability to connect using therapies like Reiki, as we've said, to connect with their essence.
When a person first comes in and opens the doorway to connecting to self and spirit, and initially it may seem daunting, but that's even more reason for therapies like this to take place, so it actually helps guide them and get in touch. Because it's not just about stopping the substance or the alcohol, it's the complete package. It's about recreating yourself, and this is a very integral part.
It is.
I just would like to finally ask you, Kenny, thank you for being very patient with us.
Satsangji, I'm pleased to be with Krishna, who is a lecturer at Coventry University. And one of the things Krishna did over 10 years ago was a thesis. I want to talk to you about your thesis that you did, which was related to addictions. What was the thesis, Krishna?
The thesis was about perceptions of problem drinking amongst the Sikh community.
And what was your findings in that thesis?
The findings were mainly to do with a lot of the barriers of why people from our community don't access services, and also some of the sort of the social and cultural barriers were mainly the things that why people didn't access services.
And what would you say has changed today? You did this thesis, this research, if you want to call it, over 10 years ago. Has anything changed since then, do you believe?
In my experience, sadly, I don't think I've seen many changes since I did that study 12 years ago.
What do you think that, what can we do about that? As a community, what needs to be done? Or even as a wider community, what needs to be done?
I think a lot of it is about raising awareness about problem drinking in the first place. I think there is a big denial in our community that there isn't a problem. And also the sort of stigma that's attached with problem drinking is one of the main barriers why people don't go for help. So I think it's trying to find ways of overcoming that stigma.
The Sikh channel has tried to raise awareness through the Alcohol and Beyond programme, and judging by the phone calls we've been having and the emails, you know, the Sangat is appreciating what the Sikh channel are doing by raising the awareness and bringing these programmes to people's homes so they can talk more openly about it. Would you encourage more of this?
Definitely. I think that was one of my findings. What people were actually saying in the study was that we need to raise awareness in mediums that will reach people of our community, and channels like Indian channels, Sikh channels were one of the main sort of issues that were raised. So that's really great that this is actually happening now today.
Satsang ji Krishna ji हुणां ने जो Coventry University ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਲੈਕਚਰ ਹਨ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਹੁਣ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੁਣੇ ਲਿਆ ਹੁਣ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਜੋ ਸਿੱਖ ਚੈਨਲ ਨੇ ਇਹ ਉਪਰਾਲਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਆ, ਇਹ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਘਰ ਪਹੁੰਚਾਉਣ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕੀਤੀ ਕਿ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਅੱਜ ਤੋਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਤਕਰੀਬਨ 14 ਸਾਲ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਖੋਜ ਕੀਤੀ ਤੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਾਈ ਦੇ ਰਾਹੀਂ ਇਹ ਪਤਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਖਾਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੋ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਸ਼ੇ ਦੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਆ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਖੋਜ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀਗੀ ਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਹੀ फाइंड आउट इन्होंने किया सका पता लगा कि असी खुल के ये बारे असी गल नहीं करते, असी अपन प्रॉब्लम खास करके नशे दियाँ असी दबा के रखनिया चाहते हैं। जो सिख चैनल ने एक उपराला किया थोड़े कोल ये घर घर पहुँचाने की कोशिश की ताकि जो साडे सिख भैन भरा अते होर भी भैन भरा जो मुश्किलों दे विच इस वेले विचर रहे हैं उन्हां दी मदद ले वो सिख चैनल नूं जद मर्जी टैलीफोन करके वो मदद लै सकते हैं। कृष्ण पंजाबी दे विच भी आपां गल करनी चाहुंदे तुहाडे नाल, साडे 'च ये बहुत असीं शर्म महसूस करते हैं कि साडी कोई धी पुत्त भैन भरा नशे दे विच जो विचर रहा आ उहदे बारे असीं कई वारी डरदे नहीं गल करदे कि समाज सानूं की कहूगा। इहदे बारे तुहाडा की विचार है?
मेरा ख्याल है साडे जिहड़े लोकी ना बहुत जल्दी ना इंग्लिश विच मैं कहांगी जज करदे ने लोकां नूं ते ओह पहलों एक मिनट पहले सोचते नहीं भी ਉਹ ਲੋਕੀ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਹਾਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਸ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਹੁੰਚੇ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ। What are the factors that have led to those people becoming in those health states? So I would say that, you know, before judging people if they have a drinking problem, you should just stop and think, why have they got to this place in the first place?
I know you've worked closely with Bac-IN over the years, and you've supported the initiatives Bac-IN have made. They support you as well. I mean, you've obviously worked very closely. Have you, your work obviously has impacted on the services here at Bac-IN?
Well, it's been really great working with Brother Sohan and the rest of the colleagues, and I think it's just nice to put our heartfelt ideas together because we all share a kind of passion to try and help our people with this problem, whether it's the people suffering from the problem or whether it's their families and friends and relatives. So I think just having like-minded people working together to try and overcome this very, very big problem that we have in our community has just got to be a good thing.
Satsang ji, I want to thank Krishna for giving up her time today and being here with us at Bac-IN with the Sikh channel. And once again, I can't stress enough the importance of you getting in touch with us here at the Sikh channel so that we can support you with your problems, especially with the addiction. And we're also here to support the families as well. Through Bac-IN, through the Sikh channel, we're here to help. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.